It utilizes everyday literary and academic skills, but it uses it in a way that's outside the box. So many of the youngsters in their day-to-day affairs at school, they have a particular learning structure, and then when they come to an after-school program, they don't want to have a repeat of what was going on in the school. So when they come to the after-school program, they have an opportunity to still acquire these skills, but it's done in a fashion where they can dance, they can sing, they can be creative and do all kinds of artwork, and so it's a program that allows them to be very diverse and creative while they're learning. The Electric Company Learning Project is unique because it allows children to learn in a method that's outside the box. You know, when they're in school and they're working on their literary skills, they have a certain format in their school structure. But when they come to the after-school program, they want to have fun, they want to relax, and so this gives them an opportunity to acquire these skills while they're dancing and singing and becoming involved in artwork. So it's a very diverse and unique learning method. Well, the youngsters are becoming a lot more confident in their skills, their reading and writing skills. They're actually learning how to dissimulate, break apart words, put them back together. They're increasing the number of syllables that they're using. They're going into 4-syllable words. They're learning a lot more about structure, and they can really become immersed in the whole process of learning their literary skills as opposed to being afraid of it and being consumed by it. Now they can take more control and demand of it because they're having so much fun with it. They really like the fact that they are able to learn in the way that they really learn. Children today, you watch them listen to songs and they can recite the entire song, you know, they can play video games, but then when it comes to their schoolwork, it's like they're in a different planet, a different world because of the learning styles and techniques. So with this, they can sing while they're learning, they can take words apart, and they can do choreography and focus on that, and that's the way our children learn. So they're learning the same way that they're used to learning in their own personal settings. I like the diversity of the program. I like that we are able to take it apart and utilize it on different levels. It's diverse enough where you can use it because we have different age groups here. So we have the 5 to 8-year-olds, so we have structured curriculum for them, and then we can take that same curriculum and we can modify it and we can use it for our other elementary school students and our middle school students. So everyone has the opportunity to participate as long as you conceptualize the principles and be able to have fun with it. So everybody has a good time. I would like for them to feel comfortable with the skills that they've learned and the principles that have been established in the curriculum and be able to make it their own and utilize it, so as they go on to other grades, they'll be able to think about how the words were put together, how the sentences were structured, how they pulled the vocabulary words apart and put them back together and replace them. All those kinds of things, to constantly be aware of that and take those skills with them throughout their academic years. So they're not afraid of the language anymore. Now they can embrace it. Well, for the most part, when they actually watch the Electric Company program, I love to see how immersed they are in the program, and they're just sitting there and they're taking it all in. It's entertaining for them. They enjoy it, and so they're not sitting there like, oh my goodness, more of this. They are just really into it and captivated by it for the most part. And it's encouraged and inspired a lot of them to be a lot more outgoing, because the whole program and curriculum is a lot of performing arts, and that's what we do here. So then they get to see other children performing and doing their raps and, you know, coming up with all kinds of creative elements, and so it inspires them when they go into the voice classes. They are a lot more disciplined and they are more into what's going on because they see the end result for themselves. And the same thing with the dance. So now they're kind of putting more into it. So I like the effect it's having on the children. I couldn't tell if they had favorites because they just enjoyed it. They really loved the show, and they couldn't wait to get into the curriculum after they watched it. I could tell you what I liked when I watched it. I liked when they did the hip hop thing and they took the words apart, and I was going around thinking of words I could take apart and put together, and changing one letter and how it changes the whole word and the meaning. So I like that. So I wound up doing that like for about a week or so. Don't tell me bored though. I think this is a great program. It has a lot of potential. I love that it has the whole performing arts concept included in learning, because many of our children learn so many different ways, and not all the children want to sit down and be structured at a desk, constantly writing all day. Some of them want to move around. Some of them want to sing as they're learning. It helps them to remember. Some of them want to tap their feet. So it gives them an opportunity to use whatever style, whatever strength they have, and apply their academics, and it becomes more enriching and more meaningful for them.
The electric company, the activities that we use for the children in the hip hop program is we take the electric company activities and incorporate them in the performing arts through the hip hop, which is easier for the kids to comprehend. I'm seeing tremendous results. It's something when you can take things that they're familiar with, like hip hop music, and incorporating spelling and vocabulary and grammar and English and all of the above into something that they're familiar with, that they can catch on to. Just incorporating hip music. Sometimes they don't get a chance to be so free, and I think when you have music involved, it just relaxes them, and they learn without knowing that they're learning. So that's important. Well, I would say seeing their faces and seeing how they comprehend and how they can make comprehending fun, and how just adding movement and seeing them move, that's always been a joy. And anytime I can see them smile is always special to me. As an instructor, I like most about incorporating the electric company activities is to see them moving, and see them smiling, and see them having fun learning while they are comprehending everything that we're trying to incorporate. My goals are to make sure that the kids are having fun while they're learning, and that they walk away with knowing that learning can be done in so many different ways, and through dance and hip hop is their way of learning at this point, and I'm glad that they are walking away with something. So, I do have students that are shy and that do shy away from learning anything, and when I see them enjoying themselves through dance, and when I can take electric company's activities and incorporate that and see that they are having a good time, it always is special. It always tugs at my heart. I'm not sure if they have a special character. I think everybody that they see on the show in Electric Company is special because they can relate to them because they look like them. The children, when they get a chance to see other kids and other teens having fun and rhyming and rapping and dancing and having a good time, that is special to them in every way, and it helps them to want to learn even more when they see someone that they can relate to. As a parent, my children love the show. I've noticed my son and daughter pick up so many different ways to rhyme and to learn, especially through the group that beatboxes and raps, and the Silhouette kids. They love that portion of it, and I've noticed, that they are picking up and they're comprehending even at a young age through the music and the dance and the singing and the rapping. So, my mother does. My mother often speaks of it, but no, I don't. My mother talks about it actually all the time because that was a big part of her growing up. She said, on Saturday mornings they would wake up and couldn't wait to turn on the Electric Company, and she has spoken about taking away a lot of the things that they have learned from the show and implying it through real life.
So it's going to cross the generations.
Yes, yes, it has.
What I love about the project and the program itself is the fact that it enhances what we do here at Arts for Life. We're an after-school program, so we're not trying to be an educational program as much as we are trying to reinforce what kids are learning in school. The Electric Company program fits that bill perfectly because it reinforces reading skills. It reinforces skills that I learned when I was a kid: phonics, vocabulary, word usage, things that we take for granted maybe as adults, but kids do find a hard time mastering. Well, the kind of results we're seeing, especially with our younger children, with our primary age kids, we're talking ages 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The most important thing is their interaction with one another. We find that the Electric Company curriculum, as well as the videos that the kids are watching, the songs that they're singing, the vignettes that they're seeing, involves a lot of interaction with one another. This is something that's important to us because one of the things we do here is we reinforce resilience to life's challenges. And one of those things is actually learning how to socialize and socially accept one another. And we find that in a learning community, which is what we try to build here, that kind of skill building, that kind of skill set is important. So the Electric Company curriculum helps us to do that. The songs, they like the songs, they like I think they like the repetition. I believe also they enjoy watching the videos. In fact, after watching them, Ms. Jerisha has told me the kids want to see them over and over again, so that's a good thing. Well, I like the fact that it works well with our younger children, but we're finding ways of reinforcing some of the concepts with our older kids as well. One of the ways is through music. I'm a musician, so we have tried to take some of the concepts and put them into song or to adapt them to already existing songs. I think that anything that reinforces what kids are learning in school and gives them extra practice, extra usage is going to help in the long run. I think just a confidence, just a confidence in having a larger vocabulary to choose from, having the skills to decode words, having just an enthusiasm about reading, just a genuine love for reading. Our kids, we are an arts-based program, so performing arts, cultural arts is something that we use to reinforce what kids are learning in school. When we started off talking about some of the ideas, we allowed the kids to sort of just kind of brainstorm and decide, well, what would you like to do with this? What could you see happening with this? And they came up with so many amazing ideas, so many very, very creative ideas of what they wanted to do. Some things that we've already started, some things that we're going to be putting into practice in the next few weeks. But that was an aha moment for me, absolutely. I've observed that well, of course, there's the "Hey, you guys." I think they all love that. But I think that I've observed that they like all of the characters. They like pretty much all of the moments. I think you said it very well. You said making it your own. These kids pretty much are creative. Arts is the core of what we do here. We use the performing arts. So we decided to just sort of experiment with that. And that idea actually came from a song that we're learning, a song called "Wake Up Everybody," which has been done by several people, that talks about teaching a new way. And maybe then the students will listen to what you have to say. Ms. J, our director, said, why don't we include the concepts from the Electric Company in that song? And that's kind of where the idea began, and the kids have taken it from there. What you said before about making it our own, I think that we've only scratched the surface of the possibilities of what can be done with this program. I would like to see us also modify it a bit more to make it a bit more applicable to our older kids. I think some of the skills are on a primary level, but can be translated easily to older levels, so that's what we're trying to do. I remember the original Electric Company. I mean, I remember the whole concept of children's television workshop, which was to take elements of commercial TV and use it to teach kids. I think it was seen that kids really related to commercials. So Sesame Street was all about trying to make each of the little vignettes like a TV commercial. and kids really, really locked into it. It seemed to me that at that time, Electric Company was the continuation of what was happening with Sesame Street. And I remember the original characters. People may not remember, but Bill Cosby, Rita Moreno, and Morgan Freeman were like among the original cast members. And it was Rita Moreno who had the favorite line, "Hey, you guys!" That was Rita Moreno. So I grew up in New York, so New York, New Jersey area. And the Children's Television Workshop, WNET, was very, very strong. So it had a very cool New York theater vibe to it, and that's what I really remember most. So again, taking that whole performance aspect, that whole cultural art aspect, and really using it to teach kids is kind of what we do here, so it works for us very well.
With the Electric Company, it's a program to enhance a child's learning process. It helps them recap on things that they learned in the past, refreshes their mind on different learning skills such as the sounds, helping them be able to, how do I say this, as in spell, and just to help them, better their education knowledge. So it's a good program. Throughout watching the clips and with the worksheets, there are different poster puzzles, jumble words where they mix and match. They learn how to spell them. We did different methods, such as we take turns on playing a game called Sparkle, and we spell out the words that they may not know in a lesson, and then we use the word wall and we write down words that they don't know, and we'll hang it up on the wall. So when they see it or come across it, I ask them, "Hey, what's that word?" And they're able to say, "Oh, that's the word we learned during the Electric Company," and they're able to remember what was taught from the last lesson. Through the program, I've seen that most of my kids are working better with each other. They're beginning to help each other as a whole, like the neighborhood kids do. They're starting to actually, instead of being so negative towards each other, they're actually helping out and asking questions with each other to say, okay, hey, what do you really need help with? Okay, I'm going to take the time to actually understand that maybe you can't comprehend this as well as I can. So I'm going to take the time to help you like the neighborhood kids do. So that's the biggest thing about it and what I see from the Electric Company, which helps the kids. So I like that. The singing and the dancing, they really get into it. It's so groovy, so sometimes they're watching and they get the nod in their heads because it's just so different. They're not really used to seeing learning programs sing and dance throughout and rap and mix up the words. It's so unique to them, so that's what they really like about it, the singing, the dance, and the rapping part of it. I have a lot of students here that like to dance, sing, and rap, so it engages them a lot. I like the fact that it does help them. It is really helping them enhance their learning skills. It's teaching them to be very creative, and it's okay to show your side of how you learn, and it's okay. You don't have to worry about being knocked down all the time for not knowing something, not getting an understanding. The Electric Company really helps them and shows them that it's okay. If you don't get something, you always have friends to help you, and that's the biggest thing about it, because my kids are starting to work together to help each other understand that it's okay. You don't have to always be negative or give up if you can't understand something. So that's the biggest thing about it. After the project, I want them to be able to really understand their sounding and how to spell, and to be able to comprehend what they've read or what they've seen, and to work together as a whole. Sometimes, we're in this room together, so it's okay to help each other out. I want them to understand that it is okay. You don't have to be so negative towards each other if someone doesn't get something, because everyone does learn on different levels. So I want them to understand that through it all, and that it's okay to have fun to learn. It is okay to have fun to learn. So that's the biggest thing about it. I want them to know it's okay. You have fun and express how you feel about something, and that's the biggest way of learning in life. So that's what I want them to learn throughout the Electric Company. The kids react to the Electric Company episodes very well. They really like it. They get engaged in it, and they begin to understand what's going on. They're learning different sounds, and it's really unique for them to see the word ball and how they can switch words with just throwing a ball. It's really unique to them. They ask Miss Jerish, is that real? Because they're really engaged into it. So they really do like it, and I hope we continue to use it because they are really learning from it. From watching the shows, what stands out the most to them is the rapping part. They really like to see how they take words that we use in everyday, and they like to see how they can mix them up and match them together and actually make a rap out of it. That's the biggest thing. They get into it, their heads start to move, and I can really see that it's engaging for them to see, oh wow, maybe I could do that, because some of them actually like to sing and they, like to do that type of thing. So by them watching it, they actually really do get engaged in it with the rapping. That's their probably most favorite part of it. I have a few that like the dancing, but for the most part, the rapping part is what they really like the most. I would like to share that this company, the Electric Company, is a great kids program. It is really doing what it needs to do. It's an extended learning program and is actually helping students enhance their learning, helping them to be better at reading, writing, just comprehension in general, and helping them with everyday life words that we use every day. It's helping them. And, it should be used, where it can be used at, because a lot of kids are lacking on, their comprehension in reading and writing. So this is a good company to use to help them actually enhance that and to recope what they've learned in the past to help them get better for the future. So that's what I really like about it. So what we did with the singing was Ms. J came to me and we created a rap for the kids. And as you guys will see later on, that in the singing part, we created a rap using the Electric Company's tactics. And what happens is, like, we even used the Electric Company pledge. We used a little bit of their wording and we threw it into our rap to help them understand what the Electric Company is about. Throughout the dancing, they really get engaged, you know how they have the hey you guys, and our little kids dance to something kind of like that. It's like, hey, hello, so it's really engaging for them. So throughout the singing and the dancing, we just kind of looked through the book and we just took things from what we were doing from week 1 to week 2, and we just kind of combined it to one and then created a rap. So that works for the singing, and for the dancing, they get really into it, their dance moves, because it's like what they kind of see throughout the programming. So it's really fun and they really like it.
He loves the fact that he's able to maneuver around on different websites on it. He loves watching it, watching the cartoon characters and everything. I'm assuming that I think he knows that it's educational, but he also takes it in as being fun. It catches his interest. Actually identifying the words with his reading. Math and science, he has no problem with that. As far as the reading, he will see a sight word, but it's not really that sight word, but he'll say it and he'll move on to the next word. And he has grasped that from the reading program to actually identify the word and say it. Take your time and say it. The one about inspiring, he loves to read about mammals, and I've learned from watching, the little pieces that I have seen of it with him. Basically, let him read what is of interest to him, to get the reading, the basic fundamentals down of reading, and then anything else will just fall into play. I think it's very educational for the kids. As I said earlier, I have more knowledge about the online. I like the fact that it can help both kids. It can help me with different ideas, creating a birthday party, things around the house. I seen that this month they have something on for dyeing eggs. I had no knowledge that you can use basic household things to dye eggs versus using food coloring. So it's beneficial for the kids and the parents.